Hail, friend, and remember, in Lucian's love there can be no wrong. Only as often as I need his guidance, Godwoken. When I invoke Lucian's words, I invoke his deeds too. He stood for the defenseless when the Black Ring rose up. For all of us. For my mother, my father.
Gareth's nostalgia lasts for just a moment longer. He composes himself, clears his throat, and waits for your next question.
I expect Malady has an answer to that. It seems she's got it all in hand. Paradise awaits, my friend. Not an actual paradise, of course. I don't think there's such a place in all of Rivellon. Paradise Downs. My parents still sow the soil there. And if the Order hadn't called me to its ranks, I'd still call their farm my home. I miss it. I miss them. They've been forever understanding of my duty. But I admit, I've been neglectful. I have some wrongs to right. Hail, friend, and She's something, all right. I question Siva's trust in her, but Malady's usefulness is self-evident. As Lucian said, you will be eternally gifted when you act in my name. You are either naive or ignorant, Godwoken. Demon of lies to become our savior, our father of truth. Malice was not in his nature.
Gareth stiffens, then relaxes. Inhale, exhale. His voice dim.
It's only human to question. But you must also find your way back. Not just for you, but for everyone that relies on you. In those moments of doubt, I remember not what Lucian said, but what he did.
Gareth's nostalgia lasts for just a moment longer. He composes himself, clears his throat, and waits for your next question.
Hello again. That's twice now you've saved my skin, and I think it's time to start repaying the favours. I could fetch some stuff you need, maybe. Ma always said I was a great runner.
I've got sword fighters, thieves, archers, all willing to fight by your side if the price is right.
Sure thing. I'll start hunting that down right away. Don't wait up.
I've plenty of fight. Oh, I see you.
I hadn't realized I was in such illustrious company when we met before. Most fascinating, the things I've been hearing about you. That you're, how did Malady put it again? A god-woman. Yes, that's it. Quite remarkable if it's true.
Tarquin pauses, taking you in. Genial smile and calculating eyes.
You make me sound so mercenary. No, I'm merely pleased to learn that my new friend has such great things awaiting her in the future. Both wise and well-mannered. You'll go far, I'm sure. I do hope I get to watch. Why, it was your ally, Malady, who spared me. She claimed that I might be of some use yet. Rather flattering to enjoy the favor of such a powerful being.
Reaper's Coast lies nearby. When you are ready to sail elsewhere, I shall bring you there. The wood of the sacred ancestor trees has long been coveted for its ability to resist magical attacks. The consciousness of the elf within was always lost when they were uprooted, though. I am different. I think and feel. It is the work of freedmen. Dallas wanted more than a ship. She wanted a warrior slave who was bound to obey. So Friedemann used source magic to keep me alive as I was torn apart and rebuilt. He made me feel every moment of agony, then marked my wood with a slave scar. when I was an ancestor tree. The mother tree demanded loyalty also, but at least I was one of many. Now I am alone.
The silent monk cocks his right ear.
one's ever regretted having extra help in a fight. I'll guarantee you that.
Here we are, Reaper's Coast. We made it. The hunt, like always. To be godwoken is all well and good, but above all, here we are, Reaper's Coast. We made it. You celebrate too early. To be godwoken, it's somewhere... The hunt. To be got somewhere...
The angelic figure stands upon a mosaic that depicts a dragon, or a leviathan. You no longer look without, but within. You understand. A dying shark lies gasping on the sand, bleeding from the mouth and gills. It turns its dark and soulless eyes to you. Its bloody gills open in search of water, but find only air. It gasps in the air, struggling for the breath to speak. Its own blood froths at its mouth.
No! Die here! Monsters in the water! Monsters in the deep! Monsters bigger! More and more growing!
It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes as if to say, do what you will. Then it turns away and gets back to drowning in the bloody sunshine. It looks at you with its cold... It looks at you with its cold, flat eyes.
What happened here?
For me.
Magister caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. But what happened here?
Can't be real. Not real. Not happening. No, it's not.
White as driftwood salt, The dwarf flinches at your approach, yet she holds a short, clean blade aloft. Her fierce stance can't hide the trembling of her fingers.
Back! Get back! I'll kill you, just like the rest of them.
Shh, lass. I know you're all afraid. In times like these, I don't blame you. But I ain't out to hurt you. Now, why don't you take a few breaths and tell me what happened?
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind through the long grass. Terror in her eyes, she stumbles away from you.
Well, now you've done it. Poor girl needed a butterfly's touch and you wallop her with a sledgehammer. Just 'cause I'm a beast doesn't mean I'm not gentle.
He surveys the area, doing his damnedest not to allow his eyes to rest.
Magister caravan. I remember one just like this picking me up. Could have been a shipment to Fort Joy. What happened here?
White as driftwood salt.
Back! Get...
Shh, lass. I know you're all afraid. In times like these, I don't blame you. But I ain't out to hurt you. Now, why don't you take a few breaths and tell me what happened?
She slumps, all bravado draining from her.
No. I've never seen anything like those beasts before. Are they gone?
Voidwoken, you mean? Poor thing. No wonder you were scared. I'd be scared too.
Those... Yes. Worst ones I've ever seen. Ripped through the Magisters. The dwarves. Dead. And the sorcerers. Gone.
Her eyes stare vacantly into the distance, glassy as marbles. It's not cold, yet her shivering is relentless.
I don't know. Oh, Duna's beard. Lohar. My boss, Lohar, will want to know what happened to them, but I can't remember.
Lohar, eh? Where will I find this boss of yours?
Oh, well, you'll find him in Effie's Emporium, neath the Black Bull. He's a fine man. A little gruff, yeah. But he's the only one in Driftwood wanting to help and not hurt.
She looks up at Beast through tear-stained eyes. But you can see her resolve hardening as she remembers who she is and what she stands for.
Oh, Seven Sympathy. I saw those things dragging the sorcerers along the cliffs towards the Wreckers' Caves. No more. It's gone.
She flinches at the slightest rustle of wind through the long grass. Terror in her eyes, she stumbles away from you.
Not much of a landlubber, but sometimes I get no choice. Malady said this...
Beast...
I'd also appreciate it if...
thing, does it?
Makes my bones itch.
Mom, can you hear me? Oh!
The little boy lobs a stone across the river. It makes a long arc before plunging into the water below.
Oh! Ma! Are you alright? Ma!
A screech like metal dragging on stone grinds from across the river.
You have to help her, please. You can't see her. She's in the house, and those things are all around. Void things. There was a fight. Some dwarves attacked some magisters, and there were sorcerers too. And then the bugs came. Those void things. They killed everyone. And my ma got 'em to chase her, and she went across the bridge, and then she raised the bridge, and she told me to run, and now she's stuck over there with them. I'm not trying to stop them, just distract them. When they finish whatever they're eating over there, I don't want them to start looking for Ma. She's in our house, but I bet that won't keep them out. If those things get to Ma, they can get to me too. Are you going to help me? Please, it's my Ma, over there. It isn't. Ma's in our house across the river. The bugs haven't gotten in yet. I know she's inside. All you need's a way across. Ma lifted the bridge, but there's got to be another way, right? What should I do? Oh, I know.
His gaze shoots to the ground. He grabs a small flat pebble and chucks it across the river. Again, it lands in the water below, well before reaching the other side of the cliffs.
I'll keep distracting him. All right. But if I can help, I will.
He performs a divine order salute.
Now go out, Ma! We can find a way across. Come on, come on!
A scruffy kid bounds up and stands before you, hands on hips. He stares at your face, doubt screwing up his features.
You Ben Mezd? Yep, that's just what he said you'd say, Ifan. Righto, got a message for you. Chap called Baron Lavera wants to see you. Black Bull Tavern, first floor.
The kid shoves his hands in his pockets and ambles off, whistling an off-key tune.
Well now, how's my...
Ivan smiles.
Did you hear? The eggs are gone. Gone for good. No one to keep them warm. No one to keep them safe. Not my eggs, our eggs. All the family, all the eggs, every last one. Big Marge, sir. Big Marge will tell you everything.
I saw! They were stolen! The babies! The eggs! Something took them! Horror! Thief! Horrible thief! It came in the night! It took the eggs! It scrambled away fast! Big! Big as a cow! Big as a house! And many legs! Too many! If I showed you, you could bring them back! You could bring them back! Map! Show me your map!
In a flurry of feathers, she leaps up and picks a small hole in your map.
I went after my babies. I saw where they went. But they've changed so much. Much! Bring them back! Babies gone. Stolen eggs. Help. Horror. Big.
Yes, you look just the type. Egg thief. I knew it. I found the culprit.
You, where are?
Be grateful that you don't feel the need.
Get yourself in check, boy. I won't have you running off like Millicent and Tully. You'll just end up sliding down some Voidwoken's gross gullet, piece by piece.
The older-looking Magister notices your presence. He wipes his grubby hands downward across his greaves, as if to wipe away the grime, but instead smears more dirt onto them.
Halt! What word do you bring?
His face goes pale, and his eyes open wide. The Magister that greeted you remains stiff, as if enduring a harsh wind.
The Voidwoken come.
Hush, Fader. You may pass, traveller. Dare say you'll be aching to leave before long anyway. But before you do, find Raymond, the White Magister. He'll want to know what you've seen. Be quick, mind. He's set to sail any moment.
He nods his head in the direction of the bridge, but offers no other instructions.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
Are you sure? Them sorcerers from the caravan?
They'd be daft to come back. And as long as there's no sorcerers, there's no Voidwoken. You're fine as long as you don't go wandering. Speak. Driftwood is most of the same as every other fishing town. It's got the same aroma and the same herds of unwashed dwarves. The void, though, it's closing in. Voidwoken roam the land and pollute the sea. That they haven't invaded the town it's a miracle.
The Magister smiles, but he does not make eye contact with you. He shifts his weight from the left foot to the right.
Thank the Seven I have Aldous to guide me in these times. He allows me to borrow a bit of courage from him when I need. It's only a matter of time, you know? Outside Driftwood, not even the sharpest blades can protect us from those things. Inside, a killer roams. One with a Magister grudge, it seems. Our numbers dwindle. I'm hardly fit to protect. I only hope to survive. I know they disappear without a sign. Magister Carver's looking into it, but it's been so long since we've talked, a dwarf could have grown 3 beards by now. Farewell.
As long as you stay put, you'll be safe.
The silent monk, like every other... The silent monk's stitched lips are the colour of sea. The expected happens. Nothing.
Last time I was here, I summoned my wolf right in the tavern. All hell broke loose. Good times. Good times. I wonder if they'll remember me.
The woman in front of you yawns so wide that you can almost see what she had for lunch. Catching your eye across her wares, she rolls both of her own.
Oh, a customer. Welcome to Four Sisters, creators of the all-singing, all-dancing, world-famous Sorceress Sundries. Sooner you tell me what you want to buy, sooner I can get back to doing what I like best. Nothing. So... Yeah? Well, I'm past caring. The world's about to end. Who's got the time for dainty manners and etiquette? And praise Lucian for that.
Her face clouds over for a moment.
Though I do hope she's all right. I know the Seekers didn't fare so well, but my sister's always had a way of getting out of scrapes.
She shakes her head, and the concerned look vanishes, replaced with a hard stare.
Anyway, did you buy some of our Sorceress Sundries from her? Indeed. So, did you want...
She sighs deeply, as irritated as if you just threw a spider into her...
Well, I do sell Sorceress Sundries, don't I? It'd be a bit hypocritical for me not to use my own products. You know, if you want to add some razzle-dazzle to your own gear...
She looks you up and down, slowly. It is clear that you are found wanting.
You really should. Don't hurry back.
Oh, we dwarves had a kingdom, and we will have it back. I won't always be sweeping, I'll be riding horseback. We dwarves had a kingdom, and a proud knight was I. I won't always be sweeping, for my kingdom I'll die.
The dwarf keeps singing.
Heavens to Bessie, another one. More queer folk than commoners in Driftwood these days. Plain as day. Don't take hawk eyes to see you're as queer as a pear-shaped apple. Just look at you! A sword-slinging stranger if ever I saw one. I'm surprised those robed fellers aren't attacking you on sight. Anyway, tavern's just down the road. Can't miss it. 'Cause that's where all the queer ones go. Clanking dwarves, dozy lizards. I even saw him drag a voidwoken down there in the dead of night. Don't know what's going on in that tavern, but it must be a freak show in there. All them queer folk go...
Maybe I'm glad I ain't pulling carts of stinking fish round no more. But what's a beast to do if not pull? How can a beast enjoy this, when he's no notion of what his future holds? I'll be spooked till I'm securely hitched up again. I do hope I'm back.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Have you anything that will protect against voidwoken?
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison.
The carved figure is a resplendent sight in this. Your touch creates a ripple across the mosaic, as if it were water and not stone. A comforting warmth spreads through you.
Keeping it together, Bree.
As the Magister's eyes alight upon you, they widen until they are practically bulging out of their sockets. One tremulous finger rises from voluminous robes and points
Ifan Ben Mesd is our living breeze. I don't know how you got free, but it'll be back to the joy with you, and no mistake. Who could forget? I had in months. Now, come on. Back into a cage where you belong. Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
One eye squints. The other bulges out even further, as if to compensate.
Oh, it's you, all right. It's definitely you. Your little tricks won't work on me.
She considers your offer.
How much? So much? You have to be hiding something. And I'm sure Dallas will be well able to find out what that something is. Now, come on. Back into a cage where you belong.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Your little tricks won't work on me, Ben Mesd.
The Magister grabs the coin and looks around.
Get out of here. And don't let me catch you again.
Than a dozen rotten eggs dropped
You're lucky
in a
to stand in a town protected by Magister Raymond's wisdom. Without him, the Voidwoken would have turned this slum into a charnel house. He will be missed when he sails. Damn it! Magister Raymond wanted word in the caravan, but I had hoped the news would not be so grim. Report this to the Magister at the docks.
More humans! Just what we needed. More humans!
My word, but you do look exhausted. I bet you could use a touch of magic. Have at it. Got yourself situated.
Never forget it. Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget it. Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over. Not like you're buying anything.
If I don't come visit you, Ton, who will?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Keeping it together, Bree.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends.
Yep.
Never forget it.
My, but what a scout. Seems to me you could use a touch of magic. Yep.
As long as I don't think about it too much.
You're safe among friends.
Good day to you.
Calm as a coiled spring held tight, this silent watcher stands tense before you. It seems to be waiting for something.
Than a dozen rotten eggs dropped.
Dear to you, madam. Hope the morning finds you well fed.
You needing supplies? I'd stock up if I were you. It's madness out there. Never seen anything like it. Anything more.
How you holding up?
Not in any mood to talk about it.
Until later.
Smells worse over here than a dozen rotten eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Don't come over. While you're buying anything.
They don't come visit your ton. Who will?
Penny for a sick dog? A glance at the dog's miserable face tells you it's sick, all right.
What am I, dog's doctor? Dog's sick. Go on, kiss a penny for a sick dog. Putty for a penny, you can sing him a love song and call him mummy.
Never forget it.
Penny for a sick...
The dog lies there quietly, clearly in great pain.
What are you looking at? I'm sick here. Get lost. Got a pain in the neck. Got a bad pain in the neck.
It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within its throat. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth at you and growls. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not bite you. Yet. The dog goes to bite your hand, and then realizes the pain is gone.
Hey, I feel okay. Thanks, woman. Think I'll wander off now? Here, before I go, what can I do to show my gratitude? Master did.
You're safe among
Huh? Wait a minute. Master hurted me? Excuse me a minute. I'm gonna go now, but first I have a thing I need to do.
He turns to his master.
You bad man, you!
Keeping it together,
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away. God damn it. That was my livelihood. Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here. You wouldn't do that, would you? Oh, yes. You would do that, wouldn't you? I couldn't prevail upon you to change your mind, could I?
He gives you a cool look, then rummages in his...
That's your lot. Go on, then. Get lost. Penny for a grieving beggar who's got one on you, do you, milady? Then get out of the way, cheeks. Penny for a sick dog, people.
Well met, friend. Interested in Driftwood's finest catch?
You look down at the cart and see fish with flaking scales, tumours and, in one case, 3 heads.
It's free to look. Just don't touch nothing unless you're going to make my purse jingle. Fair travels, friend.
Wars are brewing, my friend, and I'll stand by your side. But prices will go up, even for one of our own. Buy now and buy often. Special prices for you, my friend. Gotta stick with your own in times of trouble, right? War is hell, my friend, but it's very good for business. Good luck to you.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Queen Justinia executes 2,000 noblemen for insubordination!
I can turn aside fire, cold and poison. Wide welcome. God knows what that's like. Cold steel it is.
Keeping it together.
latest news! Fresh from the War Owl! Hear all about it! Many a latest, my friend. The war, the bishop, the queen. What tickles your fancy? Ain't looking too good for them lizards. Word is, the Divine Order's gonna hit the ancient empire and hit it hard. You remember what happened to the elves, don't you? Ain't no one left standing when you treat 'em to death fog. Seven save us. Stabbed in the back he was by them vile, low-born, treacherous seekers. Kill 'em all, I say. Do 'em like Magister Raymond did old Lady Seaver. That'll teach them traitors. I mean, they doomed us all, didn't they? The son of the Divine is dead. Gone. Who'll save us now? Jolly Justinia, Queen of the Dwarves. Ha! Scourge, more like. Here's 20 or so noble gentlemen. No one knows what they did wrong, if anything, and she has them stripped and whipped all the way to the execution grounds. Didn't even give them the dignity of a sword. No, ma'am. Had them all hung. Real slow-like. You ask me, and I say she's mad as a mink with its tail on fire. Queen or no queen.
The Silent Watcher's jaws clench and slacken again and again for no visible reason. Two empty eyes stare straight ahead, like the black button eyes of a child's stuffed doll.
Hello, missus.
The little boy looks at you. He picks his nose.
You be careful. My daddy's a magister. No, he's not. His daddy's a fisherman like most daddies round here. We're waiting for our friend. He went for a swim. He'll be back soon.
He went swimming all the way to Fort Happy.
Fort Joy?
That's what I said. Fort Joy. He's going to find his mum and bring her back. Oh, I want my friend back.
Ben, if he finds his mum in Fort Joy, they're probably both really happy now. So don't worry. Isn't that right, missus? Well, then they'll be home soon, won't they? Why would they stay in a place that isn't nice? See, Ben? Joe and his mum will be back soon.
Well, I guess so.
Thank you, lady. Now, if you don't mind, we're busy waiting for our friend.
Bye-bye, Mr. Lady Missus.
The kids turn back to the water. Ben picks his nose.
Hello, lady.
The little boy beside her...
We're waiting for Joe.
Hope you ain't looking for work in this dying town. Besides, you ain't got the look of a fisher about you, I'll tell you that much.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double.
Raspy gusts of breath wheeze from the creature's badly mangled mouth as he lifts and drops cargo with automaton-like precision.
Don't let up now.
Raspy gusts of...
By the sack. These sacks weigh like lead. It's a disgrace I have to toil like this. I'm a magister, not a damned silent monk.
You too, Julian. Show 'em how it's done, man.
By the sack.
The silent monk does not even look at the wares he is loading, but keeps staring at some unseen horizon with no discernible emotion.
That's it. The barrels and the chests. On the double. Go on, you mute sacks of flesh. Put your backs into it. I'll not lose another day to the tide. The Lord Dread awaits. Its sails billow with Dallas's breath. I'll...
The Magister stops barking orders. He sniffs the air like a predator, turns to face you, the wolf eyeing the deer.
I'm going nowhere right at this moment. Nowhere since something crossed my path and oh so very sharply piqued my interest. Tell me, have you ever been strung up by the hands? Your body swinging like a bell's clapper as your bones are being broken with cast iron rods? Of course you haven't. We've only just met.
He licks his lips. Dry flesh turns wet.
See, I'd like to string you up too. Rack you with rods and leave you dangling over a puddle of your own blood and piss.
His sliver of a smile could rival a rattler's.
I'm very good at what I do, see? I don't even need a sauce hound yapping at my side. There was a whiff of something in the air when you approached. A current of filth, that is to say, sauce. Best convince me I was mistaken.
He leans in closer and sniffs the air once more.
Interesting. So I was mistaken. Must have been ambition I smelt on you, not the magic that dare not speak its name. Very well. In that case, we'll forego the gallows and turn straight to the hunt. The very definition of your order's existence. Seems peaceful here, doesn't it? A quiet day in a quiet town. One wouldn't think these drifting woods toss on dwarf-troubled waters. But they do. I'm quite capable. But as you can see, I'm also preparing to set sail. And who will deal with them when I'm gone? Consider for a moment the dwarf. What is he? A mule? A beast of burden? But some defy that role. There are rats among them, dancing to their rat queen's tune. I've need of a rat catcher. Of course, I must depart post-haste, but Julian here will stay behind and be a good little parrot. Ask and he will answer.
Stay behind? But I've my orders, same as you. Dallas.
Like I said, Julian is staying. And with that, I must be off. No hard feelings about the death threats, of course. How about we part shaking hands instead of stringing them up? How very heartwarming. One last thing. The Magisters here are diligent men and women. A stranger like you may run into troubles with them. Should this happen, just wave this piece of parchment in their eager little faces. My signature will placate them without fail. Adieu and good luck. The Lord Dread awaits. The use of the gallows I pass on to you. The time has come, my stitched-lit lovelies. We set sail. Get on board and man your stations.
Left behind like a dog. Blah. 7 curses upon that shit.
The Magister is rubbing the dirt off his robes, none the worse for wear, apparently, from the blast of magic that knocked him off his feet.
You! The supposed source hunter! I'd be whining and dining aboard the Lord Dread if it weren't for you. Your meddling in Magister affairs had better be worth it. A man of stature wouldn't be moored on a dock with no one but dead fish for company. But here I am and here you are. So, to business. Now answer me. Did you meet with a Magister caravan on your way into town? The hour's growing late and I'm beginning to worry something might have gone wrong. By the bishop's bones, you saw it! Out with it, woman! What happened? Wait. That means source was used. Which means some third party must have attacked first. And I've a fair idea who that might have been. Raymond, that old goat. Always suspected there's more to the Driftwood dwarves than meets the eye. Hate to admit it, but I think he may be right. Too many things have gone wrong along Reaper's Coast to attribute to bad luck. Magister ships sinking, weapons disappearing, and as you've seen, a caravan attacked and destroyed. Rumour has it the Dwarvian Queen herself is behind these acts of sabotage. That is what I want you to prove. They've always been snakes in the grass. Cheap labour, sure, and hard workers too. Half of them are their queen's spies. Her eyes, her ears, her poison-pouring hands. You know what Queen Justinia is like, surely. A tyrant and a master strategist to boot. There's a local thug, Lohar. He runs an operation out of his hideout beneath the Black Bull Tavern. I suspect this man of being a spy for his queen.
It may be interesting to have a word with him. Find out what he's up to. Where I really want you to ferret around is Reaper's Bluffs, to the west of Driftwood.
It's wild territory, remote and hostile, where I believe the dwarves may have set up a base of operations away from prying eyes. Should you find any such place, and better yet, proof that Lohar is working on behalf of Queen Justinia, you will be handsomely rewarded, I assure you. In that case, go forth and let the hunt commence!
In short, travel west in search of a dwarven...
Should any such place exist, it would be very opportune indeed should you stumble across any correspondence between Lohar and Queen Justinia. Can't describe it to you, Ernie.
Once, this was a tavern, or a hotel, or a brothel.
Magister's dropping left and right. Can't say I'm shedding any tears.
Startled, the guard leaps backwards and reaches for her weapon. She locks eyes with yours before releasing the grip on her blade's hilt.
Shouldn't surprise me like that. Oh, I could have sliced your neck clean open. Harmless? A harmless meadow may be cursed by void. Every ripple in the sea could signal an attack.
She locks an icy glare on you.
And every man, woman and child could be a threat.
The guard glowers at you. You glower back.
It doesn't make
Take
sense.
that, sorcerer! Dallas, get her!
You're dead, Alexander. Alexander, you're dead. You have to stay dead until we say you're not dead anymore.
Here, missus! Alexander doesn't have to stay dead, does he?
See? Told ya. But don't worry, I'll revenge your death. Take that, sorcerer. You won't put a sauce collar on me, Dallas. I'm a big bad evil sorcerer and I'll kill you dead.
I hate this game.
Dallas and her sorcerer mock fight. Little Alexander gives you a glum look. His lower lip protrudes.
It doesn't make sense.
Dallas and her little...
No rest until the killer is found. You can
figure this out. Come on.
An elf in tattered red robes shifts through pages of handwritten notes spread across the table.
So many suspects. So many potential culprits. I need to narrow down the list. Think, you damn elf, think.
A floorboard creaks beneath your foot. The elf leaps around abruptly.
What? Why do you sneak up on me? Don't you know how dangerous that is, the way things are? Haven't you heard? My own Magister comrades are vanishing from right here in Driftwood. Whoever's behind it must be stopped. If you hear anything, come to me. I was removed from their ranks due to my elven blood. I'll continue to serve, though. I won't stand to see my comrades taken by some vile traitor. The Magisters are all I know, all I want. I turned my back on everything else when I joined them. My name, my blood, my history. If I'm not one of them, I'm nothing. I have to help them. 3 Magisters missing so far, and the rest are hunting for some sorcerer called Higba, a bloody tinkerer. He can't be responsible. I'm certain he can't. He might be a greedy little junk peddler and a sorcerer to boot, but hardly capable of seizing Magisters. That's what I'm intent on finding out. This tavern is full of scum and degenerates. The true culprit could easily conceal themselves amongst them. Pressure up. The culprit will make a mistake eventually. If you see anything suspicious, let me know. Civic pride, perhaps? The respect of those who safeguard your people? You don't know how lucky you are to be born a human.
The elf's face creases into a mask of fury.
Another ill word against my brothers, and I'll see this floor wet with your blood. Now get out of here, and don't come back unless you have information I can use.
What is it? Unless you know something about the disappearances, leave me alone. I need to concentrate.
The elf shrugs listlessly, his eyes scanning his omnipresent collection.
Plenty of suspects. Plenty of maybes. Precious little progress, though. I'm still convinced that the tavern is key to all this, though.
The elf straightens to his full height, martial and unwavering.
I swore an oath. I won't turn my back on it. Not now, not ever. What? And you think that's an excuse for me to stop trying? I'll never stop. Not until this matter is settled or I'm dead.
I don't think you'd know even a smaller good if it bit you on the arse.
Pretty good, ain't he? Bet he'd even write a poem for you if you sidled up all nice like. His word.
That divine voice, that idyllic poetry. I could lose myself in Barstan's cinnamon eyes.
My friends, for Alexander the Innocent. Killed by sorcerers, a most vile incident. A valiant warrior against the void. Taken too early, all hope destroyed. The path
beautiful, isn't he?
Conclusion of a noble bloodline. Who shall rise? Who gains the title most divine? We wait, we wander and wonder, seeking signs.
I don't give a rat's arse what they say downstairs. The Magisters is all that stands between us and the Voidwoken. We should be grateful. It's the Sorcerer's fault for bringing this down on us. People like that bloody Meister. Stringing him up is too good for that.
Arguing with Mac is like giving medicine to the dead. He's as stubborn as a corpse and smells the part to boot. No wonder Papa Thrash gives him the stink any time he tries. Arguing with Mac is like...
Killed by sorcerers, a most vile incident.
Ah, finally.
Your colleague over there is absolutely useless. I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please. Oh, pity. I've been trying to get a little something to eat all day. But the giggleheads who run this establishment don't seem to be willing to provide a fellow with his fair portion. After all I've been through, too.
He lowers his gaze, then looks up at you expectantly. His lip trembles dramatically.
It's my mentor. My dear mentor. He was killed by those void beasts. I told him we ought not to travel in the hills, but would he listen? No. Now here I sit, my closest companion gone, our precious cargo worth more than Lucian's right ring, lost to the beast-infested wilds, and the waiter won't even bring me any stew. Ah, then perhaps my luck has changed. Yes, perhaps this awful business might soon be behind me. Tell me, how are you with, well, Void Woken? Ah, terrific news. Then what I ask will be little more than a trifling. My mentor, Liam, and I were hauling in a goodly number of fine wares from the Southlands when we crossed paths with a great brute of a Void Woken. It made short work of Liam, may the gods rest his soul. I managed to escape, but my precious cargo was left behind. We'd invested our entire livelihood in those wares. I'll do anything to get them back. Very, very well, that's how. That cargo is worth more than a pretty penny, and I'll owe its retrieval to you and you alone. Now, give me your map. I'll show you just where to look. I doubt those beasts out there have any use of such a cargo. I can't tell you how thoroughly you've made my day. Good luck.
Wonder and wonder, seeking signs
So,
from the gods.
What's the word?
Seven usher us to
So,
paradise.
always. I haven't forgotten what I've heard about the chef's mastery of the pot and cleaver. I'm simply waiting to have it proven to me.
He fixes you with a stare, looks you up and down, weighs you up, the cut of your cloth, the weight of your bag. A moment passes. Then a smile creases his face, a smile carefully constructed to look friendly and authentic, a smile that doesn't reach his eyes.
Greetings, my lady. Looking to ease the pain of a decaying world? You're in the right place. Beers are ordered at the bar, but can I interest you in a nourishing bowl of stew? A bold choice, on the face of it, unless you're looking for something a little more tantalizing than a meaty stew and a...
He raises an eyebrow and gives you a sly look. He purses his lips. His fingers drum a pattern on his elbow as he assesses you.
I'm sorry, I mistook you for a different kind of person. My mistake. I shall return to serving the other customers, and I wish you a good, if boring, appetite. Don't come back.
My sorcerers, a most vile incident.
Anyone up that looks at the planet?
A valiant warrior against the void.
A prim woman in a starched apron wipes a glass with a clean rag. She pins you with blue, steel-sharp eyes as you approach the bar.
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine.
With surprising agility for a woman of her age, she reaches over the bar and swings a hand toward your face. You brace yourself for the incoming blow, but she instead points her finger into your face.
We don't speak of His Holiness that way in this establishment.
I am a humble child of the divine, no more. My boy Niles has gone and made something of himself in Fort Joy, but we don't pretend to be anything but what we are. You're welcome to drink here, if you like. Yes, that's my boy. Did you know him? Finest physician in all of Reaper's Coast, top of his class. My, but it's been too long since I've seen him. A deviant? But what do you mean? Tell me what you saw.
Prudence takes up a clean glass and starts to polish it with her rag, rubbing at invisible water spots with zeal.
Told him the Divine punished him for that nonsense if he kept it up. Told him and told him and told him till he couldn't see straight. I should have told him so hard he'd never get back up.
She turns away from him and continues polishing the glass, eyes darting quickly around the bar, focusing on nothing.
Nothing. No.
Sparkle, twinkle.
The innkeeper's steely eyes dart around the bar nervously. Her mind seems preoccupied.
Abstinence and chastity. That's what we learned in my home. That's what I taught my boy Niles. Abstinence and chastity.
She looks through you, eyes An elf sways on her chair, her eyes focused on the counter in front of her, where she has 6 glasses in a row. With the nails of 2 fingers, she's pressing red welts into her forearm. An elf sways on her chair, her eyes focused on the counter in front of her, where she has 6 glasses in a row. With the nails of 2 fingers, she's pressing red welts into her forearm. She slides one of the drinks towards you, her head bobbling heavily on her neck as she nods at the sparkling ale.
And that. Nothing like a glass of the good stuff to smudge everything into a pretty shape.
She slides another glass of ale toward you. Its contents sparkle in the dim barlight.
Bottoms up. It's a sad story about a lover who left me out cold. Name's mind your business. Can you just not... Cheers to you, me, and...
Her gaze swivels around the room.
Damien's dull knife. This place is horrible. Never mind. Cheers to you, me, and me again. Another.
Don't expect no small portions. Same size and price for everyone.
We wander and stop peering over my shoulder.
What do you mean? Fat lot of good that'd do me around here. All the wolfies can't seem to catch a break in these parts. So, to the dwarves. Come on, last one for the road. Psh, give me one good reason.
She dumps a heavy arm around your shoulder and pulls you in close, her breath hot and sour in your face.
Look it. Look it. Look at this. This is my story.
She shows you the 2 swollen, angry red welts on the underside of her arm. She slaps them without finesse, making herself wince, and stares at you intensely.
I know how to make it better. I can fix it, all of it. I'll tell you.
She jerks her arm away from you and gazes lovingly at the welts. She doesn't look up as she speaks.
There's this woman. I'm not crazy. And if she kisses you, she can change you. She's downstairs. And now I'm different. It's in her lips. It's in the magic. I changed the right way. And then, I think now I'll be fine. You understand how, sometimes you just want to be fine. Well, what? I need to go. Thanks for drinking with me. So, till next time. Huh? Oh, you look thirsty.
She taps her fingernail on the glass of amber ale she offered you before. It's still...
Come on, have a drink. Drink or shut up. No.
She slides...
Bottoms up. It's a sad story about a lover who left me out cold. Can you?
Her gaze...
Damien. Another. What do you mean? These are... changing...
She raises a glass.
The changing times. Come on. Last one for the road. Psh. Give me one good reason. Look, you don't need to do that. You don't need to... Look.
She shows you the 2...
I know how to make it better. I can fix it, all of it. You know, how when you're just not right, on a person basis. She's downstairs. And I don't know how to say it. I just feel it. I changed the right way. You understand how, sometimes. Well, Huh?
She taps her finger.
Come on.
Who shall rise? Who gains the title most divine? We wait, we wander and wonder, seeking signs from the gods. May the 7 usher us to paradise against all the odds.
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks at them funny.
Damn right. I got a right to live, don't I? Throw him in a hole for all I care. It's the greater good.
You're not my mum. Damien was kind of cute, though. Dwarf and an elf is a dwelf. Dwarf and a... You're not my dwarf. Wheel of the good stuff. Let me tell you something.
She nods an uninterested greeting.
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drinking. Eventually there'll be a fight. You planning on starting one? Pity. Well...
She doesn't lift her gaze from...
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks at them funny.
The cook acknowledges you with a small bow, an oddly formal gesture given the surroundings.
Please, madam, you should not be back here. It's not safe. Sharp knives, boiling liquids, short tempers. Don't underestimate the dangers here. Now, please, I must insist, you should speak to Loverick.
What's this? I found something.
Damn right. We got a right to live, don't we? Throw him in a hole for all.
I don't think you'll know even a small thing will get you on the arse.
Give me one good reason.
She dumps it.
Look it.
She shows...
I know how to make it. You know, how when you're just not... There's her. She's downstairs. And then... Well, Huh?
She taps her...
Come on. Have a drink. Drink.
Stop peering on me, shut now.
She nods and...
Here for the fight? This is a tavern. People are drink. Well, I look forward to beating the shite out of you then. Bye now.
Most divine!
Hey, up! If it ain't the beast, man! Can't believe you found driftwood. How do you smell the ale over all that rotten fish? Get it?
The unfamiliar dwarf scratches his head nervously, then chuckles again. He doesn't seem sure what to say next.
Hey, shh. Keep it low. I don't need magisters crawling up my backside after I just emptied it out.
I'll be quiet as a mouse. You bet. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Now go on down. Effie's Emporium's your bag for sure. You want an engraved invitation every time? You know the way in.
Curiosity kills the cat, or gets it sent to Fort Joy. You're willing to risk Fort Joy for one night with a lizard? Then you're an idiot.
The town is poor, but this room is rich. got a pick.
A weathered woman in a dirty sea captain's tunic babbles breathlessly to herself, and somewhere nearby you hear a bell ringing.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn, and I without my compass. The ship is in the locker, on the bottom in the rocky shallows, and all are drowned but me. And yet, can you hear? The bell rings on. The bell haunts me yet, and it would drive me mad. I'm haunted by my crew. They ring the bell to drive me mad. Please, make it stop.
She buries her head in her hands and cries.
Make it stop.
She babbles breathlessly on.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is...
It's a shame, it is.
An absolute shame.
Oh no, can you believe it? The divine son slaughtered like a supper lamb.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. Never thought I'd say this. But I hope they round up them sorcerers for good. I ain't needing one sick and a void woken on me.
You said it, Hilga. You're a true patriot.
Hilga jabbers excitedly with Brax, but the two go quiet.
Yeah? What do you want? See this uniform? That makes me and Tatcha here magisters, not waiters. Get me? Good. Now, tell you what, to make up for your little social blunder, you can help us settle an argument. Tatcha here is one of my dearest friends, but she isn't the brightest.
Tatcha grins hello.
Our mate Boris got posted to Fort Joy for consorting with lizards. And Tatcha here still fancies a turn around the park with Loverick's lizard. I say she'd be sleeping with the enemy. What say you?
They look at you expectantly.
And you can't be too careful, you know? If I can get Alexander, I can get any of us.
You're right about that. Right as rain, Hilda.
Tatcha bursts out laughing. Eden goes bright red.
Get lost before I throw you in a cell for disrespecting a magister. 2 magisters. The magisters.
Tatcha doesn't look disrespected. Tatcha looks amused.
Disrespecting one magister's enough. Go on, get lost.
She turns back to her drink.
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you. Yeah? What do you want? Good.
She tips you a wink, then turns away. Weathered and rugged, the man sleeps soundly. He mumbles in his slumber.
There's bad things in the caves. Bad dwarf things.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
Blood and oil do mix, after all.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's still asleep.
The island is ruined and doesn't have a name. Don't go there.
His eyes open, but he doesn't...
There's no graveyard on the island. Stay away from the graveyard.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring...
Sawdust and wolves, Mother. Sawdust and wolves.
Startled, he opens his eyes, but he's staring into the distance. He's still asleep.
Arcs for Lucian's Day sounds nice, Mother.
His eyes flicker open, but he looks like he's His eyes flick...
Get away from my
He goes back to... The man sleeps...
But Mother, I'm sleepy.
His eyes flicker open. He goes...
Of course it's not true.
If I can get Alexander, I can get any of us.
Coffers, they're to be guarded
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Right as rain.
Of course, my lord.
Doesn't this room strike you as eerie? There's a chill in the air, a deeper darkness in the shadows. But, of course, I should hold my tongue and stand guard. All's well as long as my... Go on, son's... Better watch yourself, lass. Got greedy eyes on you. Sets me on it.
As you approach the silken-robed noble, Ifan does a double-take and laughs in recognition. He pulls you to one side.
I know this man, and he's not at all what he seems. A moment.
Ifan bounds forward and embraces the man, all effusive greetings. As they part, talking animatedly, the man's beard slips sideways down his face. He's wearing a disguise. Ifan laughs as he straightens the beard. They chatter away for some time, using a guttural cant you struggle to understand. At one point, the man says something and looks over at you intently. Ifan waves his hand and laughs. The looks they turn upon you are colder than moonlight on a tombstone.
Nice company you keep, Ifan.
I'd best move on. See you around, Baron.
Doesn't this... But... Go on. Go on. Better watch it. Gonna be hell dragging them coffers to Arks. Gonna be hell getting to Arks. Gonna be hell full stop. You mark...
As you approach the silk...
I know this man, and he's not at all...
Ifan bounds forward. They chatter away for some time, using a guttural cant you struggle to understand. At once, the man hunkers down and seems to be sketching a rough map on the floor, using an apple, some playing cards, and a fistful of threads pulled up from the carpet. Ifan claps the man on the back and turns to leave.
Well, now we know the way to the sawmill. And we know Roost thinks I'm bringing you there as part of the Godwoken contract. Hear that? Roost's camped out at the sawmill.
So, Roost is at a sawmill. Let's pay him a visit, shall we?
She smiles. Her eyes are dark pools brimming with anticipation.
Must be an awful lot of fun toys to be had at a sawmill.
Here now. When one's in a small town, one must expect small town manners, I see. Have you a reason for barging into my room, madam? I've no idea what you're talking about. Now, will you be leaving my room under your own power, or will I have to whistle up my guards? Which is what killed the cat, remember? Still, no harm done, I suppose. I may as well introduce myself. Baron Levere, at your service. Of course they are, as good bodyguards should be. I'm a wealthy man, and wealthy men need protection, especially if they accompany their wealth. The merchant's burden, you see. He must escort his merchandise, always. Travels, you say? And why would you assume I'm a travelling man?
He laughs heartily.
Of all things, I wouldn't have thought my boots would give me away, but you're quite right, of course. I am travelling, yes, to Arx. Lucian's Day will be upon us soon, a celebration no man with a heart that is both as pious and mercantile as mine should miss. I go because it is every citizen's duty, our communal obligation to chant the rites of the return and pray for Lucian's divine resurrection. That said, I do have more secular motivations as well. Arx positively overflows with pilgrims during the festival, pilgrims and their purses. As a merchant, it is quite my favourite music to my ears. A happy accident after all, you're barging into... If there's anything else you need, know you're always welcome.
Of course it's not true. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings the warning and the tide is on the turn.
You've got to pick who you can trust.
Menu simple. Eat, or drink, or
Killed by sorcerers, a most vile incident. A valiant warrior against the void. Taken too early, all hope destroyed. The path thus ended, the conclusion of a noble bloodline. Who shall rise? Who gains the title most divine?
You're good with the magisters caging anyone up.
The chest won't open.
Speak the word, and I shall open. Speak the word, the magic word, and I shall open. No. 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 Still no. I am already closed. I did not understand. Do you want a buffalo? Do not profane. Speak the word, and I shall open. I am a chest. This seems likely. Yes, you could. Is your buffalo unwell? An excellent choice.
The chest still won't open, and...
An excellent...
Of course it's not true. Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
The bell rings the warning and the tide is on the turn.
The chest still won't open.
No, no, no. Still I am. I do not. I am. Is this scene? Yes, an ex.
Of course it's not true.
I can see a sorcerer from a mile away.
Smile all
And you can't be too careful,
I'm not in love
you know.
with you.
If they
Well
get on
now,
its own.
how's my favourite god woken?
You're right about that. Right as rain, he'll come.
Who rings the bell?
An old lone wolf colleague of mine in disguise. Callow. He's hunting Godwoken, but don't worry. I didn't tell him our little secret. Poor fellow'd have an attack of the bloody flux if he knew what was really going on.
Of course it's not true.
The bell rings a warning and the tide is on the turn.
Smile all you want. I'm not in love with you.
Don't worry. I'm not going to hand you in for the bounty. Sure, you could do the very same to me. I think we should know who hunts us and why. Just play it cool. We go in, we get answers, we leave. Nothing more to it than that.
From the glint in his eye and the wicked smile he wears, you can tell he speaks in jest.
All right. It has the potential to get messy. Very messy indeed. But I've got your back if you've got mine. I'm from the deserts of Mezd originally. My parents died when I was very young, no more than a cub. They were spice merchants, killed by bandits as we were trading on the forest roads. The elves nearby saved me afterwards. They found me hiding in a wagon and they took me in.
Ifan bites his lip, hard enough to draw blood.
They were my home until I was old enough to join the Order. Mother Melody always said I'd have a hard life. She saw it as fact, since I was born under the waxing moon.
And you can't be too careful, you know? Of course. If I can get Alexander, I won't get any of us.
Ah, a mysterious one. Cool and analytical. Good thing we get to make our own choices and live our own lives. Damned if we'll be bound by the skies. For sure. Always carry a snack.
Ifan reaches into his tunic pocket and pulls out a strip of dried raw meat. He takes a tiny bite and offers the rest to you.
Who rings the bell?
Of course it's not true.
Now, what else do I have to share?
Ifan rummages around the roll-down tops of his boots and grins in victory as he plucks a single mushroom from the folds.
Aha.
He hands you the mushroom with great ceremony, bowing as he holds it aloft.
You've got a pick and you can trust.
Oh, I wouldn't. This one's not for eating. But I'll tell you, it comes in handy if you're dining with someone who really needs to lose their life. And soon.
Ifan smiles and looks around before reaching high into his sleeve and pulling out a tiny herbal wrap. The unmistakable scent of Drudene hits you as he holds it out to you.
The last weapon in the lone wolf arsenal. You know, for after the toughest jobs.
He winks and tips his fingers to his temples before loping off.
Well now, how's my favorite?
His eyes glitter as he stands tall to tell the story, hands waving expressively. You can see it's a story he's used to telling, one he enjoys weaving for an audience.
So, underneath the tavern in Driftwood, there's a place I feel right at home. A delightful little hive of scum and villainy. A few months back, I was relaxing down there after a job. Just a hint of Drudene. You know, a hint. All of a sudden, a tiger prowls in. I jump up, but everyone else is just ignoring it. And then he picks up my scent. His eyes turn blue, and he leaps to pounce on me. A fury of claws and teeth. I flip the table and start scrambling for my crossbow. Nowhere to be found, and by now, the tiger's right on top of my eyeballs. So I do the only thing I can think of. I summon Afrit, my soul wolf, and now everybody reacts. Screaming, scrambling around, pelting for the stairs, drinks flying everywhere. And that pesky tiger? Nowhere to be seen. Turns out it was Drudene messing with me. Stronger stuff than I'm used to. Also turns out some people don't appreciate spectral wolves tearing up the place. So some people called magisters on me. Well, it's guarded by a grouchy-seeming dwarf named of Papa Thrash. But he's a real sweetheart once you get to know him. I love that password of his. Open minds and closed fists.
Ifan smiles.
I'm not in love with you.
Not much of a landlubber, but Malady said...
Beast.
I'd also appreciate...
What? Didn't you hear, Melody? And, as such, My first priority remains to find Roost. You have an ever so curious definition of happiness. I've picked up the scent I searched for. Such a happening comes coupled with very different emotions indeed. The cat, when it's about to pounce, isn't happy. It simply is.
You want an ingredient?